Hey guys, what's up? I am here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Lord El-Melloi II, Say No Jikenbo, Rail Zeppelin Grace Note, or you could call it Lord El-Melloi Case Files, Rail Zeppelin Grace Note on episode 7. Now, this episode right here had a lot of information. I think it is best for you to actually watch the episode yourself to understand it than me maybe giving you a small recap or summary about it, due to the fact that some information will be compromised, confusing, along with some other things involving like what the hell are you even talking about. So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Lord El-Melloi will later on board the train, but not before he'll meet a couple familiar faces beforehand, such as Hashiri Adashino, not to mention Olga Mari Animasphere. And I was really surprised that she was actually in this episode or even in the series at all. I mean, looks like to me she got an invitation to the Mystic Eyes and asked Lord El-Melloi not to get in her way. I'm thinking in my mind, well, you got some nice ways of running your mouth like that, but from what I read up and what I heard in the conversations or discussions of this episode, is that she's only 11 years old, which I go like, well, that explains a lot now, don't it? With her smart mouthing, sheesh. But aside from that, there were also a couple more familiar faces when being boarded on the train. Not to mention Carlos himself. He would actually be the guy to be accompanying Lord El-Melloi. Not to mention Gray. Not to mention Gray will also be accompanying him too. Also, we got to see another familiar face, which is Lee. Lee, of course, which is many episodes back. I don't even remember. However, there's one person on board that was actually almost a threat to anyone who was on the board, Mystic Eyes train ride, and that is Carabal Frampton. This guy is actually from a holy church that's against the clock tower, which is very scary because knowing that he's a church guy, not to mention knowing his build up and along with like possibly his strength, they all are actually very freaking concerned, because let's not forget there's one guy who knows how to freaking fight and know how to like take down mages. I mean, I don't need to explain who that person is. If you've been keeping up with Type Moon material or watching Type Moon stuff, you will know who I'm talking about. I mean, no need for me to explain anything else there, right? Come on now. But aside from that, he tells everyone that he got an invitation and that there's no need to be very cautious. And of course, we get to see Yvette, apparently, which is of course, Lord El-Melloi's students, etc. We also get a scene with Kashiri Shishigo along with Reynes saying that they have something in plan to maybe track down the person that stole something from Lord El-Melloi that's belonging to the King of Conquerors, Iskandar. And of course, she therefore tells Shishigo that she's gonna ask him to help her out on this, and you will have an assistant, which is Luvia-san, which we all know, that wrestling woman, etc. Eventually, there will be some in-between scenes, but not before we get to a scene with Olga Muddy and her accompanying acquaintance, I guess, which I don't remember her name because guess I don't pay attention. I don't care much about her. But she ends up having a small talk with Lord El-Melloi to help her out to go grab maybe an auction for the Rainbow Mystic Eyes, which is something involving ranks about these Mystic Eyes, whatever. We get to see one. Well, I get to see one that's we able to read emotions. That's green emerald that is shown to Gray when it came to Yvette, though. Not to mention when it comes to Mystic Eyes in general, we get to know that certain Mystic Eyes are calibered in gold class, jewel class, not to mention rainbow is way above them. Olga Madi is interested in those rainbow Mystic Eyes and asks Lord El-Melloi to help him out with some bidding. I mean, if you help me out, I'll compensate you or reward you. I'm thinking in my mind, yeah, I don't know about that. But aside from that, there are some other things happening in the shadows, such as Hishiri Adasahino is talking with someone else right now, and I think that's Lee, but I don't know. But aside from that, Gray felt a little bit nauseous when Olga Marty and Lord El-Melloi were talking about mystic eyes, which makes me question, like, is it because, like, she's been through something brutal, or is it something that she saw something far worse than that? Whatever the case it is, I hope we find out sooner or later down the road. Guess what we're about to find out, right? But, aside from that, Campton, or should I say that guy from the Holy Church, I think Campton, or Frampton, or Caribou, will end up trying to ask Gray if she's okay, but apparently, like, she just feels a little motion sickness, and the guy was gonna offer her an apple, but we see to it that Gray touched him, and because of Crampton's, or the church guy, what's his name again? Caribou? Frampton? Yeah, Frampton. I'm trying to remember his name right now because that guy's a big, and he didn't have much of a role to play or appearance. But aside from that, Frampton would later on accidentally look into Gray's memories or past and realizes who she is. I'm thinking in my mind, I wasn't so sure either myself, but I think it was already obvious from the get-go when she used Rongo Miniad or something. But aside from that, he tells her to be there from Lord El-Melloi, you know, it'll help out. And apparently there'll be a talk with Mari's acquaintance with Lord El-Melloi, talking about the previous Holy War, Waiver Velvet, etc. Some stuff that you guys should possibly already know. If you don't know, well, you guys got a little spoiled a bit from that other series, which I will not explain here, or say here, obviously. But aside from that, we have to it that Gray was trying to talk to her teacher, and we get to know that he is trying to reunite with, like, that one servant. But we get to also know that that servant will not retain memories from the previous life or possibly previous war, which makes me question a bit, though I will not say anything else here, obviously, because of other reasons involved. Though it's already a little small hint of what I'm doubting, so that should already be a little small minor spoiler. But from getting on to the get-go, or continuing on, we see to it that everyone would take a break for now, but apparently the way how it ended, that Mari's acquaintance, who apparently had a mystic eyes of premonition or visions whatsoever, if anything, which I forgot to mention, we get to see to it towards the end of the episode that it ended off with her head brutally decapitated. And I mean decapitated. Like it's not there. Do I have to explain it any further? I don't think so. And the episode ends off there, which I go like, oh my gosh, man, that's just freaking brutal like hell. So in this episode, all I can really tell you is that Lord El-Melloi, or Waiver Velvet, boards the train, knows a couple familiar faces, even I do, such as like Olga Mari, and then like freaking Luvia, Reynes doing something in the shadows, and not to mention Adesahino is also doing something in the shadows, and much more to come, because we get to see that she has a little friend of a snake to do a little like eavesdropping, if anything, possibly. And of course, Olga Mari trying to get the Rainbow Mystic Eyes, which is a big thing or something, whatever the case may be. And she's trying to win an auction to the Holy Grail War. I don't know, but yeah, that much I could say to you for sure. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot.